Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Episode 4 and Episode 5 of Invaders of the Rokujouma. These two episodes adapt Volume 3 of the light novels. And before I really start talking about it, I should say that this is probably my least favorite volume of the novels, and I was really not looking forward to this part of the anime, because while I do really love this series, there are, parts here and there that I'm not as fond of. But this viewing was probably the best viewing of it I've had. So to get a quick summary out, basically, the episode 4 opens with Ruth winning one of those lotteries that you see in anime and stuff a lot, where you get like the wheel and you crank the handle and a little ball comes out, and if you get the gold ball, you win the grand prize. And they won a trip for 6 to a beach and a hot spring. And so this is our beach arc, 4 and 5 episodes in. So we get the standard beach episode stuff, like we see all the girls in their bikinis and stuff. We see them basically naked in the hot springs. But they don't really get into this much in the anime, but like, if you're looking for it, you can see it. The raffle that Ruth won was actually put on by ghost hunters to get them to go there so they could try and catch Sanae. So Volume 3 and these 2 episodes here are the first sort of character-focused volume, and this one's all about Sanae, and it's about her sort of feeling like an outcast of the group and feeling like they're not actually friends. And that's something that I didn't really care for in the few times that I've gone through this arc. But seeing it here and like actually looking for things, I really picked up on how we got to the situation we got to in this, where it basically has Kotaro and Sanae arguing, and then Sanae runs off and gets captured. Like, I really don't like that. But I don't know, it just made more sense here, where they've gotten close. And one thing that I'll say about the anime, at least from I'm not Japanese, they don't really do a good job for maybe people that aren't familiar with sort of setting up the time frame. So episodes 1 and half of 2, basically, the first novel take place at the beginning of April. The second half of 2 and episode 3 take place towards the end of April, beginning of May. And then basically the entirety of these 2 episodes here take place in August. So all the characters have been together for a long time. And you sort of see that in the way they interact. They've obviously become a lot friendlier because they've basically been spending every day together for the last, 4 months? May, June, July... 4 months. And so we get basically Sanae here feeling like... She feels like they're becoming friends, but at the same time, basically Kotaro is acting in a way that makes her feel like an enemy, and they even basically say that at some point, because pretty much everyone here are supposed to be enemies, and that's kind of what they basically spell it out at the end of this episode 5, where it's like Sanae basically says, we're enemies, but we're also like a family. And yeah, that's kind of the whole gist of the series. But yeah, I just had a really good viewing this time, where I saw little things that maybe I didn't pick up on before, like Sanae getting visibly upset, or not upset, but feeling like sort of outcast, as they mention that she's a ghost, because at the beginning there's the problem is Ruth wins the trip for 6, and there's 7 of them. And then Kiriha points out that Sanae's a ghost. She doesn't count. And so you see her sort of get hurt by that. And yeah, everything clicked a lot better this viewing for me, and I'm interested in going back to Volume 3 now and seeing how it reads. But I probably won't do that, at least for a while. Alright, so that's the 2 episodes. Pretty good. Better than I was expecting, and I've seen them before. So now I want to talk about differences that I noticed from the novels. The first difference I really noticed was the opening scene. Episode 4 opens with Ruth winning the trip, and that's it. And they don't really harp on that. That's like, I don't know, 30 seconds? In the novel, that's basically the first chapter, if I'm remembering right. We see basically, I think it even starts at the apartment with Kotaro being like, all right, I gotta go do some shopping. Or like, I think it was Ruth maybe was going to do shopping and he went. And so Ruth, Kotaro, Sanae, and not Kiriha, Shizuka, they go shopping and then they basically get a chance to do this raffle thing. And we see the ghost hunters, which in the anime look like the Blues Brothers. They're there putting on this raffle to try and trick them, right? But we also see that they have other prizes, which are not supposed to be actually winnable because the colored balls that represent those prizes aren't supposed to be there. And I think they end up winning everything in the novels. Like, they won like a TV, and then they won the trip, and they won something else as well. So that's all cut out. What was the next thing? Oh boy, there was another part. Oh, it's not really something that was cut out, it was just something that was changed. There is a moment between Kiriha and Kotaro where, after Kotaro, in a dream, clings on to Ruth, and she thinks he's making advances on her, but he's dreaming about catching bugs. He gets sort of kicked out of the room they're sharing for a while, and he stumbles upon Kiriha sitting outside on a rock, looking at like a little like trading card of a totally not Kamen Rider, right? In the novel, that takes place inside the rundown hotel, just like in the hall or something. Whereas in the anime, they set it outside and like they make it more visually interesting, I guess, right? So they can like look at the ocean and look at the moon, and you don't need that in a novel because you only get like a handful of illustrations. Another thing they changed is the ghost hunters attempt to catch Sanae a couple times, whereas in this it's just they try to catch her at the beach, where they end up making people think that they're lolicons because they're going after Sanae, the little girl, and like they accidentally grab Thea, and they say that they're just after the girl or something like that, because nobody thinks that they can actually see Sanae. And then at the hot springs part, they show up again, but they didn't show up here. That part was just completely cut out. You just get a little hot springs moment where they show sort of how the girls are kind of like, it fleshes out their motives a bit. Like we get Thea saying that she's here for her mother. We get a little bit about Eureka talking about how in the past somebody saved her life and that's why she is doing what she's doing now. And the others as well. I think that is the gist of it, though. There might be some other things that changed here and there, but those are the ones that sort of stuck out to me. Another thing I will point out is the white magic. This is sort of a big deal in the novels, and they're not really pointing it out here. In episode 3, that's what saves Harumi, is the white magic, where not Thea, oh my goodness, there's so many characters, where Eureka is trying to cast healing magic, and I don't think they really touch on it in the anime, but different kinds of magic are associated with a different color of the rainbow, and I think healing might be like blue magic, maybe. So she's trying to heal Harumi, failing, and then suddenly her blue magic turns into white magic, and she heals her. in this, when Kotaro is fighting the big evil ghost, which I didn't even mention because it's one of the least interesting villains in the whole series, he is fighting her with the charms that he fought Sanae with in the beginning of the series. And as he's fighting, they sort of are engulfed in white magic, and that lets him basically defeat a super powerful ghost by punching them. And they don't really point it out so much in the anime. And sort of speaking of that, I guess, one more change that I noticed that I actually think is much better in the novels, it's fine in the anime, but when the evil ghost is defeated, Sanae falls to the ground for some reason, even though she's a ghost. And basically, the charm, I think it says safe family on it, is coated with white magic and is falling towards Sanae. And she's sort of panicking, thinking, like, that just destroyed this evil ghost that had basically absorbed me. I'm screwed if that touches me. And then you see it sort of like, it like bonks her on the head or something. And she's fine. And then she looks at it and says it's safe family. And we get like, Sanae in that charm is really nice. And I like that part a lot, where after this, she basically wears that charm all the time. But in here, she just sort of drops to the ground, she's on her knees, and then it falls into her hands, and then she looks at it and sort of flinches. And I don't think it played as well here as it did in the novel, but it's still fine, right? But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. These videos are always a rambling mess. I'm not making notes with these videos, so I'm just sort of just talking. Oh, actually, I'm looking at an illustration right here, and we did miss something right now. Earlier at the beginning of the novel here, we got Thea playing games, which is, I don't know if this ever gets brought up. Basically, Thea's a princess. I think I've talked about that. Alien princess came to Earth. One of the things that she was studying was like ancient technologies, or old technology. So when she gets to Earth, which is like not even close to as technologically advanced as Fourth Earth, where she's from, she gets fascinated with video games for a while, and that's sort of we see them playing games in the apartment a lot, not just when they're battling for points, but like Thea just playing a video game. So again, my biggest problem with this is you don't really get a sense of how much time has actually passed and sort of how close they're getting. Now that I realize that they cut that, like, yeah, there are some moments where like it shows how close the characters have gotten that have been left out. It's still fine. The show is still good. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.